Now on Bloomberg Intelligence, Munis in Focus.
All right, today's Focus on Munis is brought to you by BAM Mutual. Put America's strength to work in your portfolio with BAM insured municipal bonds. Protect your investments with an added layer of security and guaranteed income. Invest with strength. Build a stronger tomorrow with BAM Mutual. There you go, our good friends at BAM Mutual. Just reading this article in the break. Tough title. This is one that got my attention. This headline: U.S. bonds see worst week since Liberation Day on inflation angst. Perfect segue to our next guest, Aashna Shah, municipal finance reporter, Bloomberg News, UNC Tar Heel. We're not talking to each other for the next 36 hours. Duke, Carolina, Saturday night at Duke. Aashna, I hate to ask, how has the municipal bond market been these days?
You know, well, I have to start off by saying UNC will win. So we'll talk again once the game's over.
It'll be a good game.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been a tough week in the muni market, same as all other fixed income markets. But, you know, we saw that the muni market was having a sell-off this week, earlier in the week. Right now, today, munis are unchanged, but the sell-off was caused by the geopolitical unrest happening in the Middle East. And generally, the muni market is a safe haven for investors. It's sheltered from geopolitical unrest and, you know, a war overseas. However, earlier this week in the sell-off, the height was on Tuesday, and we saw yields jump as much as 11 basis points. And that was the worst day in the bond market since last April, which, if you remember, was during the tariff policy announcements and Liberation Day. So the sell-off in munis was mirroring what was happening in the Treasury market. But yeah, worst day since last April.
Yeah, well, Aashna, I mean, very interesting because you've reported as well this week that some people are seeing this as a buying opportunity, right? So which one is it? It feels like it's two sides of the same coin. You know, you get a big sell-off and then some people coming out of the woodwork to hunt for bargains. Is it really the time, though, to go bargain hunting at this point?
Yeah, so March is an interesting month for the muni market in general. We see that some investors are looking to sell their holdings to pay their tax bills that come up due in April. So March is a tough month for the muni market in general. But we were talking to some portfolio managers, you know, earlier this week, and they were saying that it could be a buying opportunity. You know, the prices have dropped, and so this could be a time for investors who aren't in the muni market to really invest and get some better levels.
New issuance, has that taken a pause here with all this volatility? Because we know 2026 is going to be a big year for issuance.
Yeah, so investors are expecting a record year for issuance this year, you know, beating the record of last year, some say. And we've seen deals get done this year. We haven't, you know, buyers and investors are definitely more cautious from what we're hearing, but deals are getting done. Issuers are in the market this week. So I think we're still in a good environment, but there's just definitely some caution being exercised right now.
Yeah, well, of course, we did get the jobs report earlier today. Big shocker to the downside there. And of course, the market very much tied to local domestic economies here. Any kind of early signs of jitters around that data and perhaps the prospect of the labor market weakening much further from here?
Well, one thing that we were hearing from investors is that they're keeping an eye out on how long this war goes on for and, you know, other macro activity. So if this becomes a protracted war and it does end up having any sort of impacts on state and local governments, if macro events continue to have an impact on state and local governments, then we could see them, you know, either raising taxes or finding other ways to supplement that revenue. So I know that's a thing that's top of mind for investors right now.
Is there any credit concerns out there in the marketplace? We saw in the private credit market, we've seen some news about Blue Owl and even today BlackRock restricting some of the withdrawals from their private credit funds. Has that rippled through at all to the municipal bond public market? So
what's been going on this week is more so a macro event and hasn't really had any impact on the credit or the issuers. So we're seeing that play out. That's why people are saying it's a buying opportunity, because there's that disconnect.
Where are you going to watch the game tomorrow? Is there like a Chapel Hill bar in the city? There
is. It's called Slattery's, and it's in Midtown, and all my friends are going to be there.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Boy, maybe I should. Have you seen the ad with the Duke kid coming over to the home?
Yes, I have.
Family?
Yeah.
Paul, don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
God, that would be ugly. All right, Aashna Shah, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Aashna Shah, she's a municipal finance reporter for Bloomberg News and a UNC Tar Heel fan. Good for her. Joining us live here in our Bloomberg Interactive Brokers studio.
Put America's strength to work in your portfolio with BAM insured municipal bonds. Protect your investments with an added layer of security and guaranteed income. Invest with strength. Build a stronger tomorrow with BAM Mutual.